Business is approval of the committee's minutes. When committee members have had a chance to review, I would entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. New business. Item number 1 is approval of a minor public works contract with TS Services and Maintenance for cleaning of the fence for $3,800. Kimberly, welcome.
Hello, how are y'all today?
We're good.
Good.
This is with T Service and Maintenance, and this will be funded out of Fletcher's outside services account, and this is it's cleaning, but it's basically the beading, spraying, all of that around the fence line that goes around the Fletcher facility.
Questions?
So what draws the line between what our maintenance people do and what we go outside for?
So this one is, I would imagine with this particular one, it's the length of it, the length of the fence doing it, and then also the type of chemicals and stuff that they use, so they don't have to spray it like once a year.
Okay. All right. I don't have any further questions.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 1 is approved. Item number 2 is approval of a balancing change order with ST Bund Construction for the airport terminal and ARFF apron reconstruction project. It's a deductive total, $8,954.97. Jeff, welcome.
Good afternoon. We reached completion of the reconstruction of our terminal ramp. So we're in the process of closing out all the documents to close out the grant overall. So the change order, the balancing change order is the deduction, $8,954.97 over the total contract value of $5,074,636. So wanted to show you some of the differences of the before and after in our pictures. Here the ramp before the project, and then the expansion and the reconstruction with almost 50% of that changing over to concrete. And then we were fortunate to have it available for this year's football season. So these types of projects help us.
Looks a lot better with all those expensive jets parked on it, doesn't it?
So we're glad that we can provide access to the community with some of the events that happen in town. And great project. The FAA was willing to partner with us on this multi-million-dollar project. Again, 90% federal, 5% local.
So for you or Ms. Standard, where does it, on a deductive change order like this for the airport, where does that money go? Does it go back into some airport bucket or back into general contingency, or where?
It all goes back to the FAA. It's not money we can use elsewhere.
It goes back to the FAA?
Yes, sir.
And the answer, in general, the answer to your question, depending on project, the answer might vary.
Okay.
For this one, Jeff is correct, that amount all goes back to the FAA because of how they're funding the contract. Sometimes, if there's a deductive change order on a project that we are funding possibly 50%, we could have a piece of it go back to our contingency in our airport improvement fund.
And what do we pay on this one, Jeff? What portion?
5%.
Does 5% of 8,900 go back to us?
Yeah, yes, sir. I guess you can look at it that way.
Okay.
It's a couple of pennies, but yeah.
All right, motion.
Second.
There's a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2 is approved. Item number 3 is authorization to enter into a 3-year software contract. Placer AI, total not to exceed $75,000. Liz, welcome.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
So several of you have gone through demos on this. I know Councilman Fail, Councilman Tyner, Councilman Wilson have done demos on Placer sometime in the past year. We are really excited about this. It's a 3-year contract for $75,000 total to be able to have access to tracking data. This will help us be more competitive as we recruit businesses to our community. I think a common story that I tell is when you look at our census data and you see 30,000, or our demographics, 30,000 students that are unemployed. If you're a corporate outside entity looking at that, it doesn't look good on paper. And so to be able to prove that that people are walking into these stores spending money is going to help us sell our community better as we're recruiting corporate entities. And so this is, we've looked at several different options, and this one is the best, most robust program that we can find. It's cloud-based software. It's what a lot of municipalities are using, and so at the request of our commercial realtors, they want us to be able to provide better marketing packets to be able to go out and recruit.
Did they offer to chip in?
No.
Liz, will you, for those persons who may be listening to us today, will you kind of talk about what the impact will be for this project? Will you talk about how this project is so needed for our communities?
Certainly. So one example is, we've talked with arts and entertainment, we've talked with the airport, we've talked with Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports, we've talked with urban development. And so it's not just going to be economic development that's going to benefit from this. It has multiple uses. For us, there are void analysis that you can do. So you can, if you have a parcel, you can zoom in on it and see what is neat, where the people around here are going, where they're coming from. It's cell phone tracking is non-personally identifiable cell phone tracking. So if you have your location services turned on your phone, so we are seeing actual habits of people. So it can see that in this census block where you are going, if you go from here to Publix, from Publix to Chick-fil-A, or you're going to Northport to the Publix, but you live in District 1, we see that there's a void of a grocery store in District 1. And so it might help us better target a grocery user. And so and it shows you, we've learned that the Walmart marketplace in Skyland is the number one in the nation, is in the top 10% in the nation on traffic. Our Chipotle, number one in the state. Our Target, number one in the state. This is information that's given that we're able to see through Placer. And so it helps us to better tell our narrative out there to corporate entities.
May I, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
I was blown away by it, and I'm a big fan. When we were looking at another grocery, which we still are, it was amazing to me when they did seeing who was shopping at the Piggly Wiggly, and I saw New York City, L.A., Arizona, yeah, and then when it came to their second choices, it was this grocery, another grocery store. That was the second most shopped, or where they shopped the next, or whatever.
That's right.
It was really good.
It's really
information.
telling.
It was very telling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just amazing to see that information. It's almost frightening, frankly,
I know.
what people can find out about what's going on.
And Mr. Chairman, the reason I asked her to do that because, as both of you have said, it shows some amazing data. It showed for my district how people that live right where I live and stay, how they travel across town just to get their needs met, and whatever those needs might be, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whatever it is. And I was just shocked. And where would this 75,000 be coming out of?
So it's coming from the Tourism Capital Fund, and it's within budget.
So is tourism capital projects, is that the same as the TEF cap? No, it's
That's the
different.
bid fee fund. So the lodging tax by code is split between 2% automatically goes into the River District Fund, and then 1% is split between the Tourism Enhancement Fund, which is the bid fees, and then the Tourism Capital Fund, which is what this is coming out of.
But the TEF actually has two components, right? An operating and a capital side?
So that's why, so TEF, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, is just the bid fees. There is a completely separate component,
So
which is the
what
capital.
I'm calling or thinking of is TEF Capital Fund. Is this Tourism Capital Projects Fund?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Motion. to approve.
So this month, is all 75 in there and coming out, or are we gonna draw down 25 a year over the 3-year
Up front.
contract?
We'll pay up front.
We'll pay 75 out front, so that clears that out?
Yes, sir. The entire fund is not 75,000. There's more than that in that fund.
Motion to approve.
Motion on the table.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Item number 3 is approved. Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing a contract with Civic Plus for municipal code support. Mr. Holmes.
Good afternoon. This is a contract with Civic Plus. Civic Plus is the company you guys probably think of as MuniCode more often. If you go on our website and actually look at the online version of our code, that is served and organized by this company, this MuniCode. Also, if you've been in my office, the clerk's office, and maybe a few other offices around, you'll see the big black binders of city code. When we do a code update, they make sure it gets updated online. They also do the supplements to keep those books together. The supplements in the past have been occasionally a source of extra expense. We have been using this company since long since before I was here. They do just a tremendous number of municipalities statewide and nationally. What is changing with this is we typically pay a website hosting portion of it plus the supplement. So whenever we pass an ordinance that amends code, they have to prepare a supplement so they can pull certain pages out and replace it with certain pages rather than replacing the whole book. We are going to a flat rate contract with them. This contract's for $15,000 and change. Is actually about $5,000 less than what is budgeted. That was in my office's budget, with some additional things coming before us, some big code changes, especially something like framework coming up. I think this has the possibility of saving us quite a bit of money going forward. It certainly will not cost us any more than what we've been paying over the last several years.
It's in your office's budget.
Yes, sir, it's in my office's budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is approved. Item number 5 is approval of a right-of-way use permit for 1215 University Boulevard for replacement of a metal soffit. Mike?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So this is a second-story overhang at that address. This is the Rounders on the Strip. That overhang was constructed somewhere around 2012. At that time, they did not get a right-of-way use permit. What has brought this to bear is they want to make some facade changes and applied for a building permit. And we felt like this was an appropriate time for us to clean this up. So what you can see in the photo there is that overhang. They want to change some of that soffit look on the building.
Is this a soffit, that right there?
Yes,
Well, the wood-
the top part.
The top, the part that sticks out?
They're wanting to replace this.
You're not tall
Oh,
enough.
the great.
There's a chair, Mike.
So what's the soffit?
That
That thing sitting out?
bottom piece right there.
And that was built in 2012?
I thought that was.
I thought that was relatively new.
So there used to be a patio up there, and before it was enclosed, I guess, put a roof on it and all this, it was just a patio, and it looked like a fence. If you go back and you look at Google images that you can distinguish over time. But again, I think the key here is that there was not a permit issued for whatever reason. It may have been before we actually, doing right-of-way use permits. But we want to give them a permit to give them the permission to be there, like we do something that was going to be constructed.
You said give them a
So
permit like
they
something.
built an overhang, go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
You said give them a permit for something as though it's going to be constructed?
They did not get a permit when they built it,
When they
and
did
they
it.
should have.
They should have. Anything that extends into our public right of way that is a fixture, a permanent structure of sorts, we issue that landowner a right of way use permit. That sets the obligation of any repairs for something in the public right of way as the owner's responsibility, instead of saying, hey, this handrail or whatever that's out in the right of way, y'all need to come fix it. Well, no, we gave you a permit to install that. and it's yours to repair.
I got it.
And we're talking, see my extension here? We're talking about this or this?
No, the first one. Yeah.
That.
Yes.
So a soffit is a second story that sticks out over the sidewalk?
That is correct, yes.
I'm gonna make a motion to table for a week, just because I want to find out more of what's involved.
Certainly.
Second.
Got a motion to table, moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 is tabled for 1 week. Item number 6 is approval to award MPO resurfacing project contract to SD Bund. Total for the city portion is $1,100,270.90. Zach, you're not Mike,
I'm not.
and
You don't even
you're
look
not, you're not Mr. Gurney, either, so that's probably good.
Yeah. So this is actually for the mayor to sign a concurrence letter with AlDOT to approve the bid from ST Bun. AlDOT bid this project back on the 29th, and ST Bun was the low bidder. And so-
29th of September.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And so ST Bun was the low bidder, so in order for them to award the contract, we have to send a concurrence letter and pay our 20% portion, which is the 1.1 million, so they can approve it by the 20, or we have to send it to them by the 25th, because they have to approve it within 30 days or they have to rebid, basically.
Okay, and I think what I understood from the pre-council is our portion of that increased by 145
Yeah, it was 100, it was
or
originally,
95.
yeah, it was originally 860, what was it? It was originally, put it, 866,792,000, and so that's like a 27% increase over the past 2 years since 21.
It's how much?
About $250,000, isn't it?
I don't,
It's a bunch.
I'm just trying to,
Kip's bills.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally about a $5 million overall project 2 years ago, so about a 5% cost increase. Probably in what we've seen in others, probably not that.
And we're gonna pay for it out of our citywide resurfacing funds?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And a little bit of
The
gas
difference, the difference out of that.
The difference.
tax.
All right, I don't have any other questions. Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 6 is approved. Is there any other business to be brought before this committee today? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Our next Projects Committee meeting will be next Tuesday, October 24th. All in favor of adjournment